Well, good morning. It's 5:55, and I haven't done a video at 5:55 for a little while anyway. And I have the ambassador on with me today. Yesterday we were talking quite a bit about some of the things going on in the world, especially Hong Kong. And we got to thinking that it would be a good idea to get the perspective of the family on what's going on in Hong Kong in their own front yard, I guess you might say, and also perhaps Ukraine and other trouble spots. So I'm going to let the ambassador just hit on some things as he sees what's happening and gives you some perspectives that you're not getting in the Western media. So, Mr. Ambassador, please take it away.
Yes. No, I think that what's happening all around the world is basically a part of a cabal, programming and basically, fear controlling tactics that they're using. Okay. And this is a part of their way to control us and to keep us in constant fear and always in a constant aggressive mood. Okay. And we see what's happening in started up in with going back, if you go back all the way to 9/11 until today. Okay, you have seen that United States together with the allies in Europe has been going on a rampage basically all around the world, killing and slaughtering people, and claiming to be the liberators and the freedom fighters, and they're putting the seed of freedom everywhere, and basically a mayhem breaks out, and menace. And I send you a map of all the car bombings that happened in Baghdad since they were coming with the seed of freedom, and it's horrifying.
Yeah.
And the thing is this way is that the worst thing is that people in the West, like ourselves, are buying into this propaganda. We are eating it all up, you know. Islamic fundamentalists. Now we take, for example, what happened in Iraq. Have ISIS. ISIS was funded, created by, the Zionist groups, and together with the United States and Europe, and funded and created. Now suddenly, they are the enemy, and now they're exporting, biker gang people from Europe to go and fight ISIS. When are they gonna stop exporting and traumatize the people in the public, in that region? And you have Nazis coming and join the war in Ukraine, and you have the people that is launching wars there, and we want to have freedom in Ukraine. And so, if you want freedom that much, okay, why do you have a restriction that you have to have 250,000, 250,000 euro to take part in that action? Is that democracy? Is that not just to have a selective few that you want to put in your thing? And then United States come with the freedom into Ukraine and basically put Biden's son there as a person inside the corporations and earning money. I mean, don't you see that this is a racketeering and complete corruption? What's going on all over the world?
I do.
And yeah, and then you have European Union heads of the people, like the Swedish Foreign Minister, that says it clearly that he believes that Orthodox Christianity is the biggest threat to the Western world, not Islamic fundamentalists. And so basically, that's why they want to Putin is protecting Assad, because he wants to protect the Christians. I was thinking that you wanted to you know take out Assad so that Christians should have freedom, not that you wanted to kill the Christians in Syria. Is that what you really want, Europe and America? I said the problem is that these people doesn't care about religion. They don't care about anything. They just want to kill people and earn money. And they do it masqueraded as freedom fighting, and they call it creating democracy and things like this. Now people needs to do a soul search. Do you believe that you live in a democracy? Do you believe that Europe and America has a good thing, and we should export the same type of corruption that we have in our countries over to other countries? Or what makes our country better than other countries? And you look at, for example, United States, you just look at that Ferguson, how they were using tear gas even at the journalists there and beating up the journalists. I have not seen at least any journalist being tear gassed in Hong Kong yet. Okay. But the thing is this way is that, I mean, the problem here is the same thing, all over Europe and America. They're cracking down on, activists or the people that is demonstrating hardcore. The difference is that many places in the United States is, even when you had the occupied Wall Street, most majority people were sitting home eating hamburgers and looking at Super Bowl and other type of, games instead of, joining. And even if they would beat up demonstrators and tear gas them like they did at the Occupy Wall Street, no one cared. They were too busy celebrating and eating and and drinking. And Europe, of course, do not criticize the champion of freedom, United States, whatever type of atrocities they're committing. They're doing it for the best of humanity, don't they? So the thing is this way: we need to get out of this hypocrisy that we have here in the West, and finger pointing thing, and look into ourselves, reflect on ourselves in the mirror, and look, do we really have democracy? Do we respect human rights? Who are we who have such a terrible track record going to other countries, kidnapping people, putting them in concentration camps, sponsoring terrorists all over the world, looking at putting a blind eye for a genocide going on in Palestine because they're brown colored, so we don't care about that. And we call them Muslim even if it's Christians. The bomb doesn't see the difference between Muslims and Christians. So I mean, this type of sickness that we have, okay, here, we are not for people to try to lecture other people how to live. Okay, and now we look at Hong Kong. Okay, after going through these things. Okay, Hong Kong is probably. I've been all around the world, and I think that Hong Kong is an extremely free place. It has a very good infrastructure. It has a lot of protective things to the people, and Hong Kong government do a lot of things to assist the people. Even I've seen a lot of tolerance there that I have never seen in a Western country. I mean, you go to McDonald's in Hong Kong, it's a halfway house. And still you don't have the security guards or the police like you would have in Europe, America, beating the homeless people that stays in McDonald's to death almost because they're smelly or looking bad. Okay? Now, the thing is this way. Now the cabal, want to show the BRICS nations, wants to show China, wants to show the world that they can stir up things in China's front yard, like you said. They want to, use the ignorant masses in Hong Kong to do certain type of things that make China and Hong Kong lose face in international eyes. And suddenly we are putting all our efforts to look at what's happening in Hong Kong. And then let's do that. Look at the eyes here. Make our eyes open a little bit and look at it. Where does all these demonstrators get all of the barricades? Who's giving them the barricades? Who's sending them the trucks with barricades? Who's helping them being mobilized? Okay. Have you never thought about it? It's a reason why the cabal is getting scared shitless right now in Hong Kong. Okay. The new regulations that is coming in is going to overlook very carefully who is in power. The cabal will be removed. That is traumatizing for Hong Kong. So let's use the ignorant masses to think that you're going to lose your freedom now. Okay? Now the thing is this way, is that you look at the situation with the regulations there, where, for example, what's happening now, it's like also a warning that I give to the cabal people in Hong Kong, is that you see that you do the black dealings with them. You take the corruption money with them. And when they have used you for whatever they need you for, now they expose you. Look, now you have been doing all this, black money here and there. Now they're putting you in a bad face. We need to have just leaders, uncorruptible leaders. We need to stop the racketeering system. Don't forget, Hong Kong is based on British law, is based on Cabal laws, based by Cabal regulations, based by Cabal mentalities. And of course, the people that controls Hong Kong is from that, you know, elite which has been hanging around with this Cabal people for all these years. Now the students, okay, want something which is an illusion, and maybe they have some genuine foundations and stuff else. But then you have also the problem here is that the police and some government officials, are acting recklessly by blowing tear gas at them, throwing stinger grenades and beating them with sticks. This creates just more aggression. But also don't forget, it's a lot of demon-possessed people, people with a lot of psychological problems since childhood that just want to become police officers. That's why they want to be police officers, so they can aggress on others, so they can suppress others. That's a part of some people's mindsets. That's why they are searching themselves to occupations where they can abuse for some people. And so all these people also need to be taken accountable. They have to be accountable for the over-exaggeration use of force. We do not want to see force happening in Hong Kong. We don't want to see a new bloodbath or a big basically pushing down. I mean, someone wanted to push them down and put these people to complete traumatization. It could be done long time ago. The important thing is that they have to learn, the people have to learn that you cannot serve two masters. What do I mean with serving two masters? You cannot have all these freedoms, okay, at the same time you're abusing that system. You cannot want to have support at the same time you're destroying. Okay? How can you solve this problem? Do you going to solve this problem with these continuous demonstrations? I don't think so. How do we find solutions? By cooperate and work and talk together as civilized people, not by behaving in this manner that we do today. Okay? And this is what is the problem. Yes, we have a counter plan. I don't want to give the plan so that the Cabal knows how to counter our actions. But yes, we have the plans how to deal with this problem. And I want the people to open their eyes. And I want to say to all the people that is demonstrating there is to realize, who do you serve? What is the purpose? What's the real reason why I'm demonstrating here? Am I being used as a puppet? Just look at a good example, Egypt, the uprising, the Arab Springs. What did it go to? What did it accomplish? Thousands of killed people. But did it really change anything? Of course not, because it was the Cabal behind all of it. Okay? And just a lot of suffering. So let's try to wake up this time. Let's work humanity together here and basically change the world. At the same time, we can have freedom. We need to remove these wicked people that has been put in power, that is controlling and puppeteering these masses, and also, of course, the corrupt mass media. It's continuously propagating lies and fear and hate and lies and fear. And by the way, I was hearing rumors that Putin was coming to liberate Sweden, this weekend. This is wonderful news. Okay, but of course, in the media, it's stated, oh God, Lord, Russia is invading. Yeah, why would they? I mean, the problem is this way, that is again Cabal and wants to have a new financial strong power supporting their, this war machine, the international terrorist called NATO. Why are we getting all these weapons? Why we need NATO? Why we need all these military things? Why we need to kill each other all the time? Why can't we just make United Nations for the first time in history, do some good work, and maybe come to some conclusions? The solution is not bombing people to pieces. The solution is not to kill people. The people with that type of mindset, I think they should join themselves each other in a big stadium, give them some ancient weapons, let them battle it out. And I doubt this piece of shit, I'm sorry to use this word, chickens, like Dick Cheney, George Bush Jr., and other type of similar decadent people, that they would even dare to go there. Know what? You want to send other people's children out to war, to die for you, so that you can earn more money. It's time to people to wake up. You know, this whole war thing is a racketeering, it's a financial business, and it has nothing to do with freedom. It has nothing to do with democracy because it doesn't exist. And when you guys gonna realize and wake up to this new country on the planet where we can see real democracy, okay, then maybe we would be waking up. Like I stated to you, yes, it exists. A form of democracy inside the family structure.
Yeah, you meant
Okay.
that was interesting what you talked
Yeah.
about yesterday about
Yeah.
the family
And
structure being more of a true democracy, and it's ancient.
yes,
It's not
and I,
communist or
yeah.
dictatorial.
Yeah, and I think that's what we need to implement internationally. We need to implement a system that is workable for people. I'm gonna do a whole program about that next time. Okay, but I think we need to find a new system where basically we are going back to the roots of how things should be done and stop living in Disneyland. Okay.
Yeah, one of the things that you told me about what's going on not only in Hong Kong but in China is that they're trying their best to root out all of these duplicitous liars that have been lying to them all these years. They're trying to get rid of these people that all they're in it is for is money and self interest, and that's one of the revolts in Hong Kong because they're trying to say, no, the Cabal people cannot run for office. Because the Cabal wants to put only the people, their own people, in so that the choice is the lesser of two evils, which is how the Cabal always runs things. They do it in the United States and all over the world. You
No,
want
the thing,
to
yeah, the thing is this way. You have seen it's a lot, been thousands of people being arrested in China for different type of corruption charges, involvement with the cabal. And this is the fear for Hong Kong, is that they are seeing that they're next in line for a cleansing process, and that they're going to be also, maybe being removed and put in prison for their criminal actions in a co-venture with the cabal. And that's why they're stirring up these kids and scaring them and playing games with them. That's why they're trying to get international support to basically protect themselves so they can continue with their criminalities and their having their little hub there and continue their aggression. And that's the same thing as, it's like if people like the North Korean leader. I mean, God forbid if he would disappear. You understand? I mean, who would Cabal have to use there to justify their presence in Japan and South Korea? Okay, people has to wake up. Sometimes you feel this type of negative people, or this called dictators. They are bad guys. That's the best friends of a Cabal. You look at the maybe people should do a little bit better research on a guy like Ahmadinejad. Okay, who was he?
He's Jewish, wasn't he? Isn't he?
Yeah, at least according to his birth certificate. So what I think is important to mention here, okay, is that people need to do some soul searching there, and they need to do some research on people. Maybe they will be awakened. Then they realize, how come he could say all these things? Why did he say all these things? What's the causes of all these different things? And it's like I stated to you, how certain people who wants to create a Christian or a Muslim or a religious fundamentalist state has created instead a nation of atheists. Okay, I think that's
pointed
very.
out about Iran a number of
Yeah.
times in our conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I've been seeing the country. I met the students. I met the people over there, and what I see is that basically, these people are hating so much the government that they're loving the cabal. You understand? And they think that is even some people even wishes that their own country gonna be bombed, so that they can drink and party and and celebrate and live the Hollywood lifestyle, which they think everyone do in the whole Western world. You understand?
which isn't true.
So no, but that's what they see on TV. Okay, so whatever is on TV has to be true, isn't it, Ron? So
Well, there's a lot of people that say, even about the takeover of the Fed and stuff like that, or I shouldn't say takeover, but the change of ownership on paper, the foreclosure of the Fed. You know, people say, well, it can't be true. It's not in the mainstream media.
No, I mean, the thing is this way. This is, like I said, this is more like an awakening process, because it's not the news. And it's basically just to awaken some people to the reality that they've been fed lies for all these years. Okay. And, you know, when the day comes when people will see things of the mainstream media, that means that something really major shift that happened in the world. But when you have two medias in the United States, one serving one option and the other one serving another one, in reality, they work for the same master, but they just complaining back and forward and accusing each other just to create fear and hate between different groups, so they easily would be able to control you, like Fox News and CNN and BBC and this type of thing. Now, BBC is a British channel, but it's all controlled by the same puppet masters. Even Al Jazeera, little CNN, okay? And Al Jazeera also has been greatly involved in trying to manipulate and create problems in Hong Kong. And, you know, all this type of Zionist media, okay, that is going around. And people say, oh, yeah, but, you know, Al Jazeera is a Qatar thing. Yes, you heard what I said, a Zionist media. And so the thing is this way, is that it's important that we have to look at reality as it is. They're going around, and basically the day when they will start telling the truth, you know, people maybe doesn't even going to believe it's true anymore. And someone is asking, the thing is this way, that, you know, why don't the family use, you know, big independent media to promote the things? We have things that is being told. You have it. Look at RT, people. I recommend you. It's probably one of the best media outlets that we have in the free world, supposedly free world. You understand? You know, but like I stated, you know, sometimes you have to do a research when you look at many different sources to get the truth, because it's always flavored in a certain manner. You understand? And, you know, and that's the thing. That's the problem, you know. When will we stop being flavored? And when will we, you know, get real? You understand?
Yeah, it's quite a contrast between the East and the West, and so many people have been programmed to only believe the Western media and stuff like that. And I don't, you know, as I said to you before we started, so many people are frustrated. We're just tired of all the BS that's been going on for so long, especially those of us that are awake. Or
no, the thing,
somewhat awake.
no, the thing is this way. When I look at some of this TV host in the Western media, I'm feeling feelings like almost like vomit. Sometimes I feel feelings like, you know, I want to smack these people. You know, they are so retarded. They are so, you know, purposely stupid. You know, that is amazing. And the worst thing is that people is buying it all in. They're taking it all in. You know, and they're being so inspired and so empowered by the hate and ignorance from the media. That's amazing. Then now the whole world is traumatized about the Ebola, right? And, you know, Ebola this, Ebola that, Ebola that, Ebola that. You know, did you guys look what's happening with your bank account?
What do you mean by that?
What I mean with that is very simple. When you're going to look at the real problems that you have. You know, you might have problems to, you know, to provide for yourself in the next coming months. You're worrying about you know, a virus that has been planted between, you know, there with you, and that being traumatizing you. You might have real problems. What about paying your rent for the next 3 months from now? You understand? Look at the reality, people. Look at the real problems. You know, it's the same thing when you look at the situation there with you know, ISIS. Oh, the ISIS is coming. ISIS is coming to America. Stop with this fucking cartoon Disneyland stories. Or they're coming from Mexico with other brown people. No, stop this racism. Stop living in this illusion. And maybe if you stop aggressing on people, no one would like to come after you too. The only time people come after you guys is when the cabal, unleashes their aggression on you guys and blame it on some brown guy or some boogeyman. You understand?
I
You
do
know,
know that that's the way that the Western oligarchy has been playing the game for a long time.
yeah, and they're continuing to do it, and the people is buying it all in still today. Thank God it is a few other people, like people that's watching your program and other things, that is basically start seeing and realizing that it's not like they're being told. You know, I don't say,
Almost nothing is.
yeah, and it's like I told you, I worked on trying to, was doing raising funding and raising assistance for this particular problem that we're talking about with the Ebola situation. And, and I just feel
What happened
complete.
on that one? Are you able to say? I think it's been mentioned, but I don't remember if that's been mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of funds were released and funds will happen as systems come. But when as soon as the military people start launching in to try to secure assets, which is it all about, I just felt disgusted. I felt completely disgusted because again, the cabal comes in there with the military forces and try to secure the mining projects and control and try to enslave. God knows what they're wanting to do there. You have possibility to put 3,000 boats on the ground in Liberia, okay? But supposedly, you don't have a possibility to make some other efforts in other places?
Yeah, that's what I've seen and what you've shared with me is, the family releases money for supposed humanitarian assistance, and it turns into a military campaign time and time again, because the cabal wages war. That's its mission, is to wage war. And people need to wake up to that. I mean, I totally agree with you that people need to see that the Western media only cares about their own profits, and their profits are increased exponentially by waging war. That's the most profitable system on the planet. And it's why war continues to exist, because these psychopaths, that's the only way their mind works. Oh, we can destroy this and this and this and this, and then we make money destroying it, and then they come to us for money to build it up. But of course, that's backfiring now, hopefully with the more control by the family. But that's been the way they've operated for a long time.
But also one thing that people have to realize, that we have been putting down things, and they have been putting down things, and they have been doing a lot of things that has been putting blockage in the traps. And why you see? Because you have not seen any big military campaigns in reality for a very, very long time. Now you have the Arab countries, they're giving some funding United States with the so-called bombing campaigns in Iraq and Syria. But I mean, normally, when they go in, they have a whole media team sitting and waiting, and just blasting the whole cities, and everything is recorded. If you look at today's, you don't see that. Why? You understand?
They don't have the money.
No. Now the main thing that they are making, because they don't have any money, so what they're doing, they're basically doing terrorist warfare. Now sponsoring small terrorist groups here, terrorist groups there, playing this, creating type of problems all the way, so that it becomes a humanitarian reason, so that they can try to ask for more money. They create these problems just so they can ask for more money. And then the money is supposed to go, yeah, and they want to use it for something positive, which they created the problems, and then want to use something positive to assist to stop this problem. And then as soon as they get money for that, then they will use it to create another problem instead of soluting the problem which they're supposed to do. Okay, and that is the way that they've been handling the system for this last 70 years. Now it has to stop.
Yeah, just in closing, I mean, let's talk just briefly, if you will, about the mandate of how the people want to know. People have asked, how can the family take over the Fed when the Fed can create money out of thin air? Please go back and just share with me share with the people what you've shared with me about how the Fed originated.
Basically, when the Fed was created, they came to the family and requested for funds to create their banking system. It's just like now you see the BRICS banks being created. You have been seeing that now in front of your own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think they received their money? Okay, now the same thing was with the Fed. They received the funds, a certain amount of trillions were given to them to create the Federal Reserve Bank. Now they have not paid the interest even on most of these funds. And in the beginning, of course, it was created in a certain manner. After the time gone by, and since the Federal Reserve and US dollar became the federal, reserve currency, world currency, also for the world, the petrodollar, they just took themselves freedoms to print money as they liked. You understand? And this is one of the solutions, when the people basically want to escape paying the debt, they just create interest. But this interest is just fictional money. And this is what most of this so-called...
So is the derivatives.
Yeah, and this is what many of these, funny people that claims to be experts in the financial things and involved with this information that we are talking about and doing, is that they are stating that, the people have billions of there, they have trillions in this account and billions there. What it is? It is interest being out with interest, not cancelled funds. Okay? So basically, someone has to allow these things to become actual funds first. It's all fictional. It's just numbers. You understand? And this is the way the Cabal do, is that they just create more and more numbers, but no substance. It's the same thing. You can keep people working, try to keep people in the illusion that it goes well for the country because you just create money out of thin air. But in reality, you don't create something. So we have to go back to what is real assets, what is real money, what is real value in life, and what is real love, what is real compassion. Okay? And when we can learn all these real things, then maybe we can start going up to another dimension, because people are talking about the 3D dimension. You guys are not even in 3D. You guys are in 6D fantasy Disneyland world. Okay? Living in illusions. And the only way you think you're going to be able to manage to get yourself out of problems to take more credits. And that's the mindset everyone do, living on the credit cards, living under debts and the loans and stuff like that.
Well, the problem is that countries are borrowing money when they have the right to actually print their own money, and it doesn't even have to be backed by anything. That's that's another whole subject. And somebody wanted to know what is money from the family's point of view, and who owns the land. Those were two questions I remember somebody wanting me to ask you. Yeah. But I don't know that we have time to go into depth on that.
No, we're going to talk about sovereign guarantees, which we are talking about there. That's basically how the nations are getting the backing for funds and loans. And that's your houses and your ground and your properties. So yes, it's a lot of things that you guys need to learn about and that you people need to realize, and but we will take it baby steps, step by step. Okay? And at the same time, I have to give these talks without exposing too much things, because when I'm telling the truth as it is, it's traumatizing and making the Cabal very, very nervous, especially the people that serves them, and that's what we're seeing in Hong Kong and all over the world today. Okay? But it is something called the sovereign guarantees that the central banks issuing, and the countries are issuing, and that's basically how they're securing loans. Okay? And I will give a deeper insight into that and help you guys getting out of the illusion of what is really happening and how things are created, because it's not as easy as this, and many of these people has done programs in the past. They know maybe 5-10% of the truth, and they're putting that truth forward, and that's very good. But they unfortunately lack, many of them, most of them, the full picture,
including me.
Yeah, but we have to learn. I had to learn this one day too. I didn't know that this was the way it was, and I had to learn it the hard way by traveling the world and doing my work, and and learning step by step about things. And that's why, for me, it's sometimes very easy when I hear certain people talk about certain stuff, and I see that these guys has no clue what they're talking about. You understand? And they claim to be the unique ones, and so that's very interesting. And but we're gonna go into that things one other day, and I hope that I was not complicating and confusing people too much because of my language and the way that I talk. Okay.
Oh, and just to clear, I mean, people are saying you're Pakistani. They can tell that you're of Asian descent, and Dave Schmidt said you were of European descent. Do you want to just clarify that you are definitely of European descent?
Yeah, I think that that's quite clear, but it's quite funny that people
Not
say
clear to
that I'm from
everybody.
Pakistan. Quite funny that people says that I'm from Pakistani descent. That's, I think it's
Well,
quite
that's
funny.
because you have a Pakistani accent, whatever that
Yeah,
is.
yeah. If I have a Pakistani accent, it's also very interesting. But actually, I will tell the people that the only thing that they are right with is that yes, I do have a special connection to Pakistan. I spent actually 3 months of my life working in Pakistan, and I believe that Pakistan is a wonderful, beautiful country and has extreme good and nice people there. And
And
it's not
pretty
only
women too, right?
yes, that too, and it's not only Taliban's that is hanging around and the evil boogeyman Muslims that is in Pakistan. And I was in the, I've been actually all over Pakistan, everything from Islamabad to Karachi to Peshawar to Rawalpindi to Kashmir, and I really have to say it is truly a beautiful country. I recommend everyone to go and see there, and they have good food. Stay away from dysentery. That's a terrible disease, and this. I think that people has to stop being so racist, and people has to be so stop obsessing about what color of skin of people, and obsessing about who is what and what is what. I will tell you this thing that I'm probably more white than any of most of the people, more European than most of the people that accuses me for being Indian and Pakistani. Okay, so I am from the northern parts of European bloodlines, and having through the connection between the Northerns and the the Russians. So I do not have any southern European or Pakistani or Arab bloodline. Yes, we have in our family also Jewish people, but and we also have now by time also Muslim people, and Christians,
Well,
but majority of
your
the
your
people.
family was your mother is Jehovah's Witness, right?
No, 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 not my mother. It was my grandmother. My mother is not just a normal Christian. Okay,
Oh, okay.
but on my father's mother's side, yes, that you have the the Jews and the Jehovah's Christian and Witness and so on. But my I'm raised in a family where basically the Jewish Christian values were taught very strongly. I have studied the Torah, I studied the Bible, and I was very much into the religion, and it was a part of my daily life since I was a small kid. And but during my venture, I also studied other Asian religions like
And
Buddhism and
martial
Confucianism
arts.
and martial arts, yes, which is was a big part of my life until today. And also I studied Islam, and and Sufism and Shia and Sunni, and I'm even being called an expert in different sectarian things inside of Islam. But the thing is this way, that my personal opinion is that I don't like to put myself in a box, but I believe that I'm a person that is submitted to the will of God. You could call that a Muslim, but I don't consider myself as a Muslim, as you when if you look at what is the Taliban or people like that. You understand? And I don't like to put myself in the box in that manner, and or because I don't consider them as Muslims. But it's not up to me; it's between them and God. You understand?
It's
But
like me. I don't consider most Christians to be Christian.
yeah, and but the thing is this way. I think that I believe in God, and I believe that Jesus was the Messiah. I don't believe that Jesus is God, and I believe that Prophet Muhammad was also a prophet and messenger of God. And I believe that Buddha was also a prophet, and I believe the prophet has come to all places on the planet. And I believe that we have all one creator, and you can call him Allah like Jesus did, and you can call him, or you can call him whatever you like to call him, but the main thing is what is in your heart. That's why, for example, myself, when I listen to the Bible classes with the Red Dragon, and people think that, oh, the ambassador is spreading Roman Christian values. No, definitely, I'm not spreading any Christian values. My family were forced to become Christians, like most other Europeans, and had no choice than other to become Christian a few hundred years ago. Okay, by the Vatican. Now, of course, that history is forgotten, but that's the true fact. And I believe that religious is a free choice, and you have to study and you have to submit yourself to the will of God by your own wishes. That's why I don't believe in religion connected with state, because everywhere you see it, like so-called Christian or Muslim countries that is run by religious people, you find most atheists and more decadent civilizations you can find on the planet. Why? Because people want to be forced to believe in some way, and it's stated in the second surah in Quran that that the free wish, that is no force inside of Islam. And so, how can you then force people to wear hijab? How can you then force people to cover their head, and force people to become Christians, and force people to be Muslims and things like this? This has nothing to do with religion. You have to willingly, by love your creator and love your neighbor. And so I think it's important to study all scriptures and learn how to live to coexist with each other. And a lot of people maybe think that, oh, because I don't show my name and I don't show my it's because I'm not ego driven. I don't like to make this thing about me. I'm just a messenger boy, the ambassador, and I'm trying to give a message. I try to do my best I can do to convey a message. And I don't have any agenda to either make you Christians or Muslims or Jews or anything. I just want you people to be awakened. And I just want you people to, fight yourself out of this ignorance and set yourself free, so we can get out of this financial tyranny, so we can get out of this tyranny and aggression. It's not about me. It's not about what color I am. Would it make me a worse person if I would be a Pakistani? We have to stop with this type of mindsets, and look at this important thing. What is the message? What we want to do for humanity? That's what's important. Maybe one day you will know who I am if a family decides that that is the path that it needs to go. But other than that, I like to stay in the shadow and help you people to find the light. Okay, and that I would like to end this talk with today.
Okay, well, thank you. We did. It's my fault that we went so over. You were ready to end it 15 minutes ago. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for taking time with us again to share some of the perspective of what's going on. And I totally agree with you that much of the trouble that we see in the world is created by the mentality of these people that want to create war, that want to create an us versus them. Divide and conquer is their mentality, and it's a psychopathic mentality. We have to, if we're going to win the war on ignorance, we have to realize that fighting each other is not going to ever be the solution. So thank you again for sharing, and God bless you all, and thank you for listening. Namaste.
Bye-bye.